Hey team, this is Luke with Crusader Machining. Welcome to another video. In this video today, we're going to pivot away from our normal machining content and cover something a little bit different. My advice to young people that want to get into my industry. The reason I bring this up is, as you may or may not know, in addition to being a machinist, I am also an instructor at a local community college. I have been for about 10 years. Last semester, a student brought it up, and this semester, two of them brought it up to me, and they said, hey, Teach, got a quick question for you. I want to get into, they were younger, 18 to 20, 21, something like that, and they both said along the lines of, I want to get into the field of machining, manufacturing, but I don't really know where to start. What do? I don't have any experience, but they were taking the classes in the program because of what they saw on YouTube. So naturally, being very wise and gifted, just kidding, naturally being the teacher I am, wanted to help them out. I gave them a few bits of advice. But in this video today, I'm going to try to answer that question. If you're wanting to break into this industry without having a lot of experience, what should you do? What should you do to prepare for the interview? What should you do after you get the job? And what should you do and know to move up in the shop you're at? This is based on over 20 years in machining. Been in several different shops. I've gone to a lot of them between colleagues, friends, helping people out, stuff like that. Plus everyone I've met online in our community. Furthermore, I'd say the biggest bit of knowledge I'd have on this field is being an instructor at the college for as long as I have. I've met a lot of people, I've interviewed a lot of people, different instructors at the school, different trade shows I've been to. Over 20 years of doing it, in the facets I have, you learn a lot. So let's start right away. If you want to get into the industry of machining or manufacturing in general, I can't cover all of it, but the machining aspect. Say you have a potential interview coming up at a good shop that you want to work in. A few things that you should know before you go into that interview. Have all your ducks in a row on what it is that you want to do specifically in the field. Let them know what you want to do. Do you want to be a setup, programmer, conventional machining, QA, QC work, which is quality assurance or quality control? Go in there confidently knowing what it is that you want to do. Furthermore, have some basic idea of what machining is. YouTube University, babe. Look up CNC lathe, CNC mill, multi-axis machining. Understand what it is that they're going to want from you. You need to offer some value to them, and in turn, they pay you for that value that you bring to the company. Go into the interview with an idea of what it is that you want to do. Give it a little bit of thought. Don't go in there as though you're interviewing for Arby's and you want to get a minimum wage job. If you want a career in manufacturing, take it seriously. It will take you very far. Also, understand about print reading. You don't have to know about every print, but you should have a basic understanding of what is GD&T, geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. How to read a print. Tolerances, plus or minus what on a print. You don't have to know everything, but there's a good chance that they're going to say, do you know how to read a print? And you might not know, but you could say, no, I don't, but I've been looking up GD&T and I have a good idea of what it is. I've been looking up tolerances, plus or minus what, metric prints versus standard, stuff like that. Go in there with an idea of how to read a print and let them know that what you want is to ensure quality. That's what we do in machining. Precision machining, we make quality parts. Parts that conform to the specifications of our customer or our end product. So on the interview, if you go in with a basic idea of what a lathe is, a basic idea of what a mill is, an understanding of what CNC is, excuse me, and then an understanding of what print reading is, you're going to have 1 foot above the competition. Guarantee it. Second thing, say you do this interview at this job you want to work at, you get the job. What do you do now on day one? Aside from the obvious, be on time, don't leave early, have good attendance, have a good attitude. You can't tell your boss, hey, buzz off if he asks you to sweep the floor. Not going to work. Aside from the obvious stuff of being a good employee and a good contributor to the company, some things that you want to do in there, find someone that you have good rapport with that is knowledgeable and has experience in the field. Shadow them as often as you can and let them know the idea. Don't just sit there following them like a peeping Tom, but tell them, hey, I'm new to the industry. I want to succeed. I see that you're good at your job. Can I follow you and learn? Back in the day, you'd get some old grumpy guys that would not want that at all. But now you got people like me, just kidding, kind of. But you have a lot of people in the field that don't mind teaching the next generation. In fact, we love it, man. This is what has been my bread and butter. Paid for me and my family's bills for a couple decades. I'm a machining fanatic. If I had a kid come to me and say, hey, I want to learn it, dude, I'm in 100%, man. I teach people for a living. I love it. So find someone that you have good rapport with and stick with them. That's number one. Number two, if your boss asks you to do something, say yes. Say yes. Hey, do you think that you could learn this machine? Yes. Do you feel like you'd want to learn the mill? Yes, 100%. Be a yes man. Not in a yes man in a sense where you're going to kind of be like a teacher's pet, sort of. That's not what I mean. Have some dignity and character. But if your boss asks you, do you want to have an opportunity to learn this? Don't say no, because there's someone behind you that will say yes. Boom, they take your spot. So furthermore, when you're in that field, when you're in that new job that you got once you pass the interview, you get the job, you're in the new position, learn as much as you can outside of work based on what you do there. And a lot of people don't like hearing that, but let's be real. We're not in this field for a charity. You're in this field to have a good job in the trades that pays well and has good benefits and lasts a long time, gainfully employed. There's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of work outside of work. Go to YouTube for a half an hour. Say you're running CNC lathes, a Sugami sliding headstock. Go look it up a little bit. Do a little bit of research on the tooling, the programming, the methods. Maybe join a couple forums. Hit up Instagram and see @Crusader Machining or Lakewood Machine, Ian Sandusky, or Practical Machinist. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on YouTube. Become part of your trade that you choose. Trust me, it will pay off in dividends. So those are a few things that you could do once you get the job, aside from being obviously a good human and a good employee. You know, like stuff, don't steal. Yeah, okay, obviously. Lastly, now say you've already passed the interview, you got the job at the shop you want to, you kind of linked up with a couple people that are good, you're learning from them, you've been there a couple years or a year or so, you got good potential. What do you do if you want to move into that next position of, say, you go from operator to setup, or setup to programmer, or if you want to go into another area of QA or QC, or engineering, or whatever it might be there? A couple things you could do. You go back to school if you want. You could go get a certificate. Like at my school, they have a CNC programmer certificate, CNC setup certificate. Learn outside of work, and a lot of companies have a tuition reimbursement program. Take advantage of it, man. You got one shot at this. One shot at this life. Make it count. Put in a little bit extra work, because in no time you're going to go from 20 to 42 that quick. 20 years is going to zoom by you. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have. Continue. What I'm trying to say is, one thing you can do, continue to learn. Whether or not that's at school or on your own time. Furthermore, to move into that next position, you really have to set yourself apart from the others in your field. Maintain good quality. Maintain exceptional quality. Don't make scrap. Don't cut corners. Do things the right way. When you're setting up a machine, don't cut corners. Don't smash the machine like I did the other day. Don't do stuff like that. I mean, of course things happen, you know, in what we do in machining, accidents and mistakes happen. Minimize them at all costs. And if they do happen, own up to it. Don't blame it on something. Don't blame it on something or someone else. If you made a mistake, own up to it. Tell your boss or the shop foreman, hey, I goofed. I apologize. I learned from it. I'm going to move on. It will not happen again, and I apologize. Have a little bit of humility. It goes a long way. Another thing that you could do, in addition to continue learning, own up to your mistakes, make sure you verbalize to the people at your company, your bosses, shop foremen, the owner, whoever it may be, verbalize to them that you want to move up. They might not know. In your head, you could say, I want to be a programmer, or I want to work in QC and work on a CMM or something like that. They might not know. They might think, hey, this guy's doing great at setup. He's happy where he's at. In your mind, you're thinking you want advancement in both responsibility and pay, but they have no clue. Verbalize it to them. Let them know your goal. My goal is to move up in this company. I want to serve this company well. I want to get paid well. I want to do my job to the best of the ability and move up as high as I can. Make sure that they know. And to jog back to learning, if your goal is to be a programmer, teach yourself how to program. Teach yourself how to CNC program. G-Code Tutor on Instagram and YouTube has so many resources. You can learn CAD CAM on your own. Go learn Fusion 360. You can teach it yourself. You can teach yourself Fusion. You can teach yourself CAD CAM. In conjunction with perhaps a trade school or a vocational program in your local area, they're all over the place now. Advance yourself and don't let anybody get in your way of what your goal is. So those are just a few things that you could do when you're preparing for the interview, once you get the job, and how you can advance. And probably to summarize all of them in one thing, be better than the competition. If you're in that interview, if you're in that job, or if you want to move up, there's always someone that's going to be by you that also wants to do the same. What's going to make you better than them? For me, it wasn't raw IQ. I've never been accused of being a high IQ person, but what I had was resilience. And I would work a lot of hours. I would work really hard, and I took my job very seriously. Luckily for me, I love it. I love machining. It came somewhat natural. My grandfather was a machinist. My father was a machinist. They were both excellent. I'm a machinist. Hopefully one of my sons will be. It kind of runs in our blood. And I really, really took to it quickly. Even before in my junior or senior year of high school, working at a couple shops with my dad and my uncle. So set yourself apart from the competition. So that's the video. I just wanted to give a message to some of the younger people that want to get into our industry. It's a great field to get into. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. It's rewarding. Set yourself apart from the competition. Excel, and don't let anybody get in your way of what your goals are. You can accomplish this 100%. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment down below. What do you think? What would you do, or what advice would you have to a younger you or a younger person in the field? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.